Hello and welcome to Tbilisi. It is a stunning day at the Avchala Rugby Stadium for the semi-final of the Rugby Europe Championship 2026. The reigning champions, Georgia, host Romania. The Lilos are vying for a 9th successive title and their 16th in the last 17 editions, dating back to the 2011 Nations Cup. It has been utter dominance from Georgia, whilst Romania are looking to reach a first final in 4 seasons. They were the last to claim the Rugby Europe Championship crown that weren't Georgia, that coming in 2017. And while the rivalry has been fierce for many, many years, decades between these two sides, their fortunes have somewhat diverged in the last number of years. Does today change the record? It's been a full ticket of ranking round playoffs this weekend, with Switzerland beating Germany once more to secure their position in Rugby Europe Championship. Marco Bortolami, the caretaker Georgia coach.
Secure another final spot.
It's going to be a very physical game. Romania, very physical side, especially with the forwards. We want to play fast, but we got to make sure our basics are right. So the focus on the week was our space in defense and keeping the ball when we are in attack, be patient inside the 22. It's a bit windy, so we got to manage the conditions well, but I think we are in a good place.
Thank you, good luck. Thanks for your time.
David, the pool phase has been tricky for your team this season, but you're into the semi-final. What do you expect from your side today?
I just expect a good body language, and of course we are not the favorite today, and it's quite normal. Our rec is very poor, and we are lucky to be here. And I just want the players to enjoy to be together and take the responsibility on the pitch. And I will not wait so much about the rugby side. I wait more about the body language. It's going to be important for us for the future.
Thanks. Good luck. And
Well, damning but honest words there from David Gerard, the head coach of the Romanian Oaks, that they've been poor and they're lucky to be here. It was them, Belgium and Germany who are battling it out to follow in the footsteps of Portugal to qualify from their pool. Georgia are a fearsome prospect. Both teams will form a guard of honour on either side of the Antim Cup, which is the trophy that Georgia and Romania compete for, as we welcome 2 retiring legends of Georgian rugby, Alexandra Todua and Shalva Mamukashvili. 2 centurions, 2 men whose endeavours have led to them and many Georgians laying their hands on the Antim Cup. Mamuka is going to move on to be the forwards coach of the under-18s. He'll still be entrenched in Georgian rugby. Plus, Alexandru Todua does continue to play club rugby, but his days in the Georgian jersey after 122 appearances are numbered. And a fine moment for 2 great servants of European rugby before this contest, generously applauded by both sides. So the celebrations over, and now for some passion-stirring formalities. The officiating party join us, and the players prepare themselves for the national anthems with a stunning backdrop to it here as well at the Avchala Rugby Stadium. The scene very much set for the next chapter in an age-old rivalry between Georgia and Romania.
Ladies and gentlemen, please be attending for the national anthem of Romania. National anthem of Georgia.
Stirring renditions of both anthems and the teams peeling away under bright blue skies, albeit on a crisp day. It is 6 degrees in Tbilisi. You wouldn't believe it to look at the sunshine that is drenched upon the field here. But this is the Georgian side that is bidding to make another final. Beka Saginadze will captain in the back row alongside Tornike Jalal-Oniga, who has started every match this Rugby Europe Championship campaign. In the backs, Vasil Lobjanidze has just his second start of the campaign, whilst Tero Abinzadze retains the 10 jersey. David Niniashvili and Akatabuzadze, you don't have to look any further for tries and finishing class out wide. There are 4 debuts amongst the Romanians: Damien Bonaparte, Dylan Schwartz, Logan Wiedner and Yandre Williams on the bench. The captain is Kristi Bobok, and the ball already in the arms of a Georgian, clearing to the touchline, and a nice opportunity to bring in former Iberian playmaker Sam Katz for this semi-final.
Cheers, Bernsey. Yeah, what a classic rivalry we are due to witness today. Once again, Georgia-Romania, the stakes are high. It's the semi-final, and Romania will want to do themselves proud today. They've not had a good tournament, but as David Gerard was commentating, they want to start well, though.
Carry him back.
Well, it's a smart line-out drill that sees the ball find its way to Ilyesa Tike in the midfield.
Carry back.
And
stop.
Well, that's a nice angle, and almost the Georgians caught out of position there. There's been a bit of a reshuffle in that backfield, in that Atari Metrovelli has switched jerseys with David Niniashvili. The latter, the La Rochelle man on the wing today, and Metrovelli with 15 on his back. Tabutsadze, just the one try this wreck, which is at odds with the 9 he scored last campaign. It's boot to ball, and it's a circumspect start from both sides in the opening minute or so.
A good little phase of play there for Romania. I've seen Georgia a couple of times in this Rugby Europe Championship just struggle to get started in games, especially just remembering that game against Switzerland. Really struggled first half to get any momentum, so important that Romania take advantage of that.
Well, it's a very precise start from the Romanians. Kemal Altinok, the one hoisted high at the tail. And there's penalty advantages. Georgia were unable to contain the drive from Romania legally. The debutant, Vidna. A bit of rugby in the States for Old Glory, an anthem in Major League Rugby in years gone by. Getting his first taste of international action. Big, long, triple, quadruple miss passing. TK does well to stay in field.
Play on. You still got the advantage.
Romania looking sharp, looking fluid, and Fonovai Tangimana is wrestled to the floor. Crossfield kicks on. TK's the man being looked for, and that had been a bit more on the money. There was room out there, and Georgia were under-resourced.
Yeah, good possession rugby there from Romania. They're playing with the advantage, of course. Just wondering if they're going to go for these early 3 points and just get them started. But he is indeed going for the 3 points, and that's a good start for Romania. They're just getting their hands on the ball in all areas, aren't they? You can see the setup, good control there from Daniel Ply at 10. Just using his forwards nicely in the midfield, and good possession being retained. They didn't make too many meters there with the advantage, but good to see them looking to the boot as well. So good early start for Romania.
The start very much at odds with their performance in the rec on as a whole. Aileen Konache. Well, he deservedly puts Romania into the lead early here. A successful penalty to reward a bright start from the Oaks. 9 points from the boot against Germany, 10 against Belgium, all from the tee. And Konache opening his account against Georgia. 3 points in 3 minutes.
Use it!
And well, the backdrop to this Romanian campaign, as you heard David Gerard say, was they're lucky to be here. They lost to Germany in the opening match. They lost to Portugal in their final conflict, and it was a solitary victory over Belgium, and it was they who helped them in the final round as they beat Germany and denied them a bonus point. So scraped through by the skin of their teeth, but really showing up well in the opening minutes against Georgia here. But the Lilos have the ball in hand for the first time and testing the defensive resolve of Romania. Flying up, looking to shut down the space as Demir Tabladze carries the outside centre. Seasoned international despite his young years. Few phases, bit of fluidity coming from Georgia, and Niniashvili caught early and low, unable to wriggle free, but there's purple jerseys queuing up wide, and one of them is Tabudzadze. There's a bit of footwork from the right wing, who's worked hard to make it to the left, but doesn't look after the ball en route to deck. And Romania and their defence hold firm.
Yeah, quite a nervy start from Georgia. The Romanians just getting off the line, putting the pressure on. Georgia just not getting the correct amount of depth in their attack to be able to take advantage of outside shoulders and spaces in that Romanian defensive line. David Girard mentioned pre-game, didn't he, that they didn't deserve to be here, and it's probably sparked a few certainly concentrated Romanian heads. They're not a young team. They've got a few old heads on their shoulders and some good experience. They've not had a good tournament, but coming into a game like this with nothing to lose against a Georgian side that's absolutely flying, I kind of think if they can keep this up and put the pressure onto the Georgians, maybe we could see a surprise result today in Tbilisi.
Well, it's been a weekend of shock results across the continent, hasn't it? Scotland's performance against France, and then the heroics of the Azzurri against England in the Six Nations, while Switzerland have secured rec status once more with another famous victory over Germany. Jules Porchet, the hero, just pulling the strings for Switzerland. Sorry, Sam.
No, that was an absolutely massive penalty for Romania at this stage. Early in the game, that's going to really do them well, get some confidence into that front row. It's an area of the game that we know Georgia famously strong scrummagers, and Romania will pride themselves on matching that physical challenge today. And that's not a bad start at all. And as I mentioned, Georgia starting relatively slowly here. Perhaps the pressure on the home side.
Stefan Bruyana finds his man. He's featured for top four for Castra in the top 14 intermittently this season, though he is technically playing for Albi. And well, while they flash it wide with some fast hands, Romania are dispossessed out on the touchline. So Georgia, around about their own 10-meter line, wriggle through a few tackles. Vano Kakadze, Oyana, Hooker, ever present throughout the championship this year.
50-22.
Romania, to this point, containing Georgia with some ease. Good carry from the captain, Saginadze.
No. You're over.
Romania not committing numbers to the breakdowns at the moment. They're picking their moments, and the back row is working hard. That's the shoulder of Kemal Altinok. Timasora blindside, and Lobjanidze can only box clear to the 22, and Romania will be very happy to mark that with no pressure on them.
Yeah, just running out of ideas and attack there, middle of the field. They don't want to overplay it, and that's fairly normal. The kick wasn't quite good enough, was it? And neither was that one from TK there.
Well, tell you what, whoever was hunting down on the chase is lucky that that attempted trip didn't come off, because that would have been a yellow card. And Romania have taken their eye off the ball somewhat here. Tabulsadze puts boot to ball, but the cover is quick and it's confident as well. Well tidied up by Tangimana. 10-year veteran in oak colours. 3 starts at the Rugby World Cup in France, and this year particularly is the litmus test for so many players and nations, with an eye on the World Cup in Australia in 2027. Georgia and Romania will meet there in the pool, and it's the Georgians who are getting dumped hard on the outskirts of the Romanian 22. Huge shoulder from Tony Mafde, following in the footsteps of his father, who wore the 15 jersey for the Oaks. Real power in the carry. A few dents being formed in the midfield now. And the captain once more, Saginadze, finding the going tough in the close quarters with the Romanians. Real sense of a turnover, and while it's maybe not the penalty that Romania were crying for, they have forced a knock on, and it's ferocious at the moment from the Oaks.
It is, it's good defensive work. They're just noticing they don't want to go high on these Georgian attackers, because when they do, they're making yards. They're absolutely massive, aren't they, the Georgian carriers? But if they go low, first defender low and second defender just ready and waiting for that opportunity to turn over, then they're getting some good purchase, the Romanian defenders.
Don't hold the player.
So important to chop those ankles and not allow those Georgian attackers to get any go forward. But Romania will be pleased again with how they've started this match. 10 minutes gone, they've still got this lead. We've got a scrum in an important position here. It's so important to get the accuracy right and get the exit, get out of their own half here, or get the ball off the park. Georgia will be absolutely coming for them at scrum time here.
Big game this for Daniel Plai, another of Timisoara. It's a hardcore amongst this team from Rapid Bucharest, Steaua Bucharest, Dinamo Bucharest, Timisoara, and then a sprinkling of French talent. So for Daniel Plai, a first start of the rec in a semi-final, and without some more experienced heads alongside the likes of Hinkley Varvasa, not seen since the round one defeat to Germany. And tell you what, Sam, Romanians look up for the fight at scrum time with the Georgians right now.
Thank you.
Yeah, they do. And, you know, over the years, the Romanians have prided themselves on that strength up front, that big scrum. And maybe over the last couple of years, that's been dominated by the Georgians. But any chance to get parity here, they will snap it up.
Standing up.
Well, just a little confusion, and Gheorghe Gaijan forced to stand up, and off go the Georgians. Route one, but sent back from whence they came. Saganadze.
Tackle now.
Manhandled. Physical might of the Remains impressive, but they can't keep their noses clean, and a side entry undoes all those big hits. Thrashing forward goes Gheorghe Akaladze. Dabutsadze, wonderful feet, almost loses Bonaparte. Well, there's a bit of collateral damage in the midfield here, and we're going to have to call a halt, and that'll suit the Romanians because the Georgians were beginning to find their groove.
You got the advantage
Yeah, I
for
think
play the 9.
Taken one to the nose there. It's, again,
Time off. Blood.
not a nice one.
Got
Got to say though, persistent defence from the Romanians, and what I will say is though, try defending for 80 minutes against this Georgian side. Look at the power of those carries.
There's no. It's your player, your own player that hit the player. Huh? Yeah, we'll give a look, no problem.
Getting off the line well, weren't they, the Romanians? But I think he just got his head the wrong side. I think it was Buruana.
Please control David. Okay. He's speaking with no sense with their captain.
Well,
no.
His face may look a little bit different after this 80 minutes, certainly after this 13 minutes. A real nasty one there that they're desperately trying to stem the flow of.
The player for 15 minutes.
Sam, you've played here at this stadium. I mean, a magnificent backdrop, but I imagine a pretty daunting place to come.
Blood injury.
Yeah, it is the home crowd always behind the home side, as you'd expect. Strong wind occasionally here as well, north to south down the pitch. Can't really note it today, but it is in this first half in Romania's favour slightly. That might force the Georgians to play a little bit more, but in these early stages they have been kicking away a bit of possession, the Georgians, fairly cheaply. Interesting call to go to the scrum. perhaps a typical Georgian call, to set themselves up under the posts here. Good field position to set up an attacking play. This back line would have been rehearsing a number of times this week from this exact position. You can see there, fly half and full back lined up in the middle of the park.
Bruyana replaced by Tudor Budnariu. Slightly older, but as you can see, not quite as physically imposing as the Castra hooker. And, well, the immediate departure of Stefan Bruyana in the spine of that scrum sees Georgia get complete dominance.
Under pressure,
Yeah,
Becca.
they were under a lot of pressure, and I'd be surprised if they don't go for another scrum. No, they'll take the 3.
Well, there you go. That is a testament to the stubbornness of the Romanian defence. They've had plenty of goes and spent a lot of time here, but this is the closest they've been to that Romanian line, so they're going to cash their chips in. And Tedu Abzanidze, who was the understudy to Luka Matkova at the Rugby World Cup in France. He's on the bench, the Oyana playmaker. But it is the Aurillac youngster, Tedu Abzanidze, who registers the first points of the match for Georgia. And with nearly 16 minutes played, with 3 apiece in Tbilisi.
It's changed a lot in recent years, hasn't it, for Georgia? The quality of their backlines really come on, and you can see it with the amount of players they've got playing in the French leagues as well.
Oh, goodness me, that's a streaky clearance. Not right out of the sweet spot by any means. And just to your point there, Sam, about the number of Georgians playing in France,
How many?
I think that is a lot of the thinking of them installing Pierre-Henri Broncan later this year. He'll take the reins after Marco Bortolami. He's currently involved with Brive in the Pro D2. And I think there's a real sense of thought of coordinating the talented Georgians in France, and having that link. The Romanians, which have strong ones too, and they're carrying strong too. Guy John makes a big bust. And the Romanians are banging on the Georgian door like they haven't before in the match so far. Penalty advantage as well.
Retreat, red.
Just a bit of the impetus has drained in the last few carries as patience has overcome expanse, and they try and crawl a little too far, so we do come back for the penalty.
Great work at the maul, wasn't it, from the Romanian the Romanian forwards, and got to say, Georgi Gagion with a massive carry there. He's a big unit, isn't he, the Romanian number 3. Again, another one who plays his rugby in France, but bringing that experience head today. It's a brilliant breakout from this maul.
Okay.
Yeah, he sure does. He is a
No, va bene, facciamo noi allora. Ragazzi, non c'è shot clock chiaro in TV, quindi
he'll know quite a few of the Georgians pretty well as well. They're teammates at Mont-de-Marsan.
Ok, grazie.
But it is Alin Konache, the Steaua Bucharest half-back, who holds his nerve to re-establish the Romanian lead. Georgia achieving parity for only a matter of minutes, and Romania right back up the field, off the tee, and back into the lead. Georgia retain the kickoff, and there seems a little more urgency in the manner in which they're moving, and An unconventional fly hack style clearance works out for Tony Mafday, but certainly dicing with death a little bit.
He was just happy to get the ball off the pitch there, wasn't he?
Yeah, son of a former valet, and looking to follow in his father's footsteps to a World Cup.
Taking back.
Lost by Georgia. An advance forward by TK. Fijian descent out there on the wing. Just giving us a glimpse of that attacking ambition that is inherently in any Fijian bloodline. Oh, somehow claimed unchallenged, but then the intercept after Abzinante looked to float the ball wide. Huge kick. Does anyone at home will know, but the ball is going to bounce cruelly and punishingly for the Romanians. Will come all the way back deep into their half for a scrum.
Yeah, it's unfortunate for Daniel Plai, just not taking that north to south wind into account there. Put too much on that, lacking a bit of accuracy with that kick. But here's another example, brilliant from Abzinante.
Early push.
Yeah,
I give a look.
it's really well
Scrum call.
short end of the
Stay up with your elbow.
just miscalculated from Plai, isn't it? He had the field open in behind, but accuracy just lacking, and it's given Georgia brilliant field position here.
How good is the 50-22 rule, though? It's just opened up a whole new dimension of kicking and defence in that backfield. It's one of the best advances or introductions in the game over the last number of years.
Okay, so respect the cause.
Yeah, absolutely. It just demands that defences stay awake, especially when you're playing with the wind. Just looking to isolate those back three defenders in different areas. Open up the field a lot, allows for a lot more attacking rugby.
Point! Set!
Significant blindside for Lobzanidze to work with. He'll have the advantage in his back pocket as Georgia flash open to Niniashvili. Evades one, gets caught by another couple, and that's nicely manipulated into the hands of Jalagonia. I expect that he's got a major role to play for Georgia in the years to come, heading to that World Cup in Australia. Now Georgia are using their hands, their feet, their pace, their attacking intent, and Otari Netravelli scores the first try of this semi-final. He's dotted down against the Netherlands, the Swiss, and now the Romanians. And it's the first bit of real class from Georgia.
Yeah, it's taken them 22 minutes, hasn't it, to get into their stride, but balls out the back, forward options at the front, and it's brilliant from the Georgian backs. And Metravelli, the young fullback, he made it look easy at the end, but he was in acres of space, wasn't he, as he ran over there.
Okay. On me, on me.
Romanian defence just didn't have the answer. You see it's Mafte at the end. Does he go out? Does he stick with his man? Just couldn't get near him in the end. The pace from Metravelli showed to finish that one.
Well, the cheers tell you the conversion is good, and Georgia take the lead for the first time in this semi-final.
Yeah, teams will be looking at this pitch, and when they play here, the Romanians
Okay,
would
perfect.
have known that they're playing with the breeze at their backs first half, and sometimes in rugby we talk about that 10-15 point wind, and they need to get back into this game very quickly to the Romanians if they're going to have a chance, because playing against it second half is really going to put the pressure on their attack.
Retreat wide.
Contestable up and under to Chase. Great composure demonstrated, almost a bit of friendly fire as two Romanians go for the same ball. Georgia full of purpose in their defence after that try scored. Another contestably weighted box, but Chase not quite there.
Use it.
Georgia can clear themselves. Instead, Lobzanidze demands another carry from his pack.
Last feet. 5, last feet. Use it.
The arrival of Georgi Melikidze just gives Lobzanidze a bit more space and time to plant a kick, which is spilled by Mafte, and he'll be furious with himself for that.
Yeah, he will. He had all the time in the world, didn't he, Mafte? He's just taking his eye off the ball at the last moment. And it contrasts, doesn't it, with Otari Metravelli, the Georgian fullback, plucking those high balls out of the air nonchalantly. Mafte just feeling the pressure there, the young Romanian.
You got the advantage.
Just putting his team under a little bit of pressure. But I think if you would have said to David Girard, Joe, that they'd be well in this game after 25 minutes, I think he'd have bit your hand off, possibly.
Ok. Sì, una No, the mark is...
We've got a break for an injury, I think, at the moment. Tony Mafte, it's worth mentioning, has been playing Super Cup, Rugby Europe Super Cup for the Romanian Wolves this season, and there's been a real pivot in the use of that team. It is heavily populated with young players, most of them from a club called Chesa Rapid, and it's with the sole purpose of blooding youngsters. It's finding opportunity, high-level opportunity for Romanian players, because it's a fractured landscape in terms of where they draw their players from. Georgia are in a similar boat in terms of a lot of their players based in France having moved over there to play, or what is happening now, a lot of second and third generation Georgians and Romanians, I beg your pardon, who've been born there after their parents have gone to play rugby. So it's not as linear picture as other nations when it comes to triangulating the many eligible players from around the world. And in Romania today, they're without 18 frontline players, with a combination of injury and others unavailable due to commitments in France. Bit more stability at the scrum this time, and Lobzanidze is happy to let the big boys do the work and put his backs on the front foot, but it's clumsy from Tero Abzinadze, and we do come back for the penalty.
Yeah, it's 3 on the bounce, isn't it? Penalties at scrum time for this Georgian side. I think the ref is going to have a word now with the Romanian front row. Let's listen to what he has to say.
On my side, your tight head is under pressure and he collapses or he angles, so your discipline must improve at scrum. Next one will be a yellow card.
Okay, sir. Please stability after this push. Okay?
Yeah, okay. I'll give a look.
Okay.
Yes.
The police will look in.
It's Christian Bobok told in no uncertain terms that the next indiscretion will be a yellow card. Notice very much served as Georgia target the touchline from the penalty, and we might see them flex their mauling muscles for the first time.
Play on, play on.
The transfer is messy, and they have to force it to the backs. That wasn't the intention, but there's a lot of room out there, and there's some deadly weapons. Tabuzadze, one of them, but the winger, off colour throughout the tournament, finds himself tangled up before he can reach the try line once again.
Yeah, that's great from Romania's number 15, Mafte there. Come off the back of that error from the high ball. One-on-one with
you got options.
The Rex, greatest all-time try scorer.
Line out.
He's made that piece of defending look easy one-on-one. Really good work from the young lad.
Ball. One stop. Inside 5.
The captain Bobok gets swallowed by Jalagonia. But look at the power from the open side to fight against the tide of purple jerseys.
Wait.
Real pressure on the clearance, but it's a mighty fine strike that is going to be lost over the top of the stand. No, it's jumbling around and threatening to come back, but it's a good clearance.
Here for you,
How well did Romania's captain Bobok do on that occasion, fighting his way through 2 Georgian defenders, still managing to make that 5-10 meter gain for his team, just allowing for that exit.
Romania back in defensive mode. Dogleg opens up in the midfield as Romania fly up. A hint of an early tackle was what caused the errant passing. Let's take a look.
Hai parlato tu, Vinci?
Well, it's very marginal.
Hai parlato tu? Ah, okay.
I think you can see Schwartz, the number 13, just biding his time, not making the contact until he thinks the Georgian defender's going to get hands on ball, and just pinged there by the referee. I think he's unfortunate, but again, another opportunity for the Georgians. Last time they were in this area, their accuracy let them down.
Connected in the loosest sense at the back there is Vano Kokadze. And he'll offload to Lobjanidze. And Georgia will again demonstrate minor inaccuracies with their backs handling. Tabuzadze. You don't keep him out of the headlines long when it comes to scoring tries at the Avchala. Georgia's all-time leading try scorer stretches his lead at the top of the all-time marksman rankings.
And he's just used that contact on the outside, hasn't he, to guide his way into the corner. This is a man who knows how to score tries. Tabuzadze, knees up, ball down. Another 5-pointer in the corner. And they're just feeding off scraps at the moment of the Georgians, because the play in attack is not 100% accurate. Passes out the back, going to floor, and they're having to improvise a little bit, but when they do improvise, they get into these positions with this kind of space, there's just no stopping them. And the Romanian backline is really just facing shadows in those kind of situations.
It'll be just the 5 points for the Georgians, but it is a bit of daylight on the scoreboard. 2-score lead now. Georgia 15, Romania 6. Anaka Tabuzadze finding a bit of form and adding to his solitary try against Switzerland. Still 7 shy of his efforts last season. Hat-trick in the final against Spain. I wonder, will he get an opportunity to repeat the feat? The Iberian derby. Spain versus Portugal, the other semi-final equation in this bumper weekend of Men's Rugby Europe Championship action. Switzerland and Belgium victorious already. Who will triumph here in Tbilisi? Romania need to get a bit of ball in their hands and some phases together. They're into the Georgian half.
First man, play on.
Stolen on the floor, and there is a sense of the tide turning in this match. Georgia winning the micro scraps, and well, you feel somewhat for Nicholas Immelman there, because he came through and it was clear what his intentions were, and he wasn't ordered away.
Too many penalties.
Then when he took the 9,
okay,
the penalty was given.
It's clear on the ball, and you grab the ball.
An interesting one.
Sorry.
We know this new rule causing a few problems. Playing the 9 there. That's a really good turnover, wasn't it, in midfield from the Georgians. Here it is again. 9's hands on the ball. It was mistouch.
Go straight for the ball.
You sympathise, because it is difficult to see in the shadows, isn't it? Out there, and maybe misjudge a kick.
Use the 9. Okay. Sorry.
Georgia. 2 tries to their name, caught behind the gain line and way behind the halfway, and Romanian forwards come pouring through. The ball is there for Buriana. And Romania getting a foothold in the game once more. Hungry chase and a well-timed hit and a bit of chaos in the Georgian 22. Metrovelli engulfed in white and yellow jerseys.
Use it.
Oh, that is an alpha carry from Jalagonia.
Stay inside. Use it.
Takes Georgia to the brink of exiting their 22. That's not going to be the main purpose. As Saginadze advances things on, passes behind and at too much pace, and can Romania make Georgia pay in transition? Heading into the final 5 minutes of the first half. Romania win the penalty, and well, some frustrations and tempers flaring, led by Aylin Konachi.
Georgia just guilty of overplaying there in their own 22.
Okay,
You just
Christy,
thought 5 minutes before half-time.
Okay.
The score as it is. Romania piling on the pressure, though. Brilliant defence from the Georgia set piece. Off line out. It was TK with a brilliant shot, man on ball in the midfield, and a great counter ruck. Romania just happy to keep that scoreboard ticking over before half-time, close the gap to 1 score. Got to say, though, this Romanian side, they have risen to the challenge, certainly physically in this game. Certainly up front as well. The scrum's not going as planned, but they're still in it.
Well, Konache and his kicking radar is set to points, and they are remaining in touch. They're yet to cross the Georgian whitewash, but they are within a score. 6 points the difference. Georgia 15, Romania 9, and speaking honestly and piggybacking off the words of David Gerard, the Romania coach, I don't think any of us were expecting a contest this tight, this competitive.
Play on.
And the longer it goes on, the more that the Romanians will believe. It's a fine intercept from Daniel Plai,
Knock on.
who then looks for the miracle offload. But the desire from the Romanians is plain to see.
Yeah, he spoke about attitude, didn't he? And it's just those moments there. Shows brilliant desire, does Daniel Plai.
Good, guys.
Just the accuracy letting him down at the last second. TK was away, I think.
Sì, grazie. Yeah. 38. 38. 2 minutes. Crouch!
2 minutes left of this half to pile on some more pressure onto the Georgians from a Romanian point of view. Georgia just need to get out of their own half at the moment.
Advantage, standing up.
Another scrum penalty for Georgia, and it's a gimme every time they pack down at the moment. And from the front football, from the knowledge that they've an insurance policy, they flash it through the hands. Oh, raw pace and power denied 3 meters from the line. Heroic scramble defense from Romania.
Knock on the ground.
Georgia lacerating the Romanian defense right until the last gasp. When they don't just make the tackle, but they force the knock on. And Romania have 1 minute and 10 seconds to survive this half.
Time off.
It was an unbelievable scramble. What a break that was. It's so easy to play, isn't it? Off front foot, off that scrum platform. I think it's TK here, getting turned inside out. Got back around and made a phenomenal scramble tackle alongside his scrum half counterpart. Really great stuff from the Romanian scramble defence. Got to say, it's just too easy, isn't it, at scrum time for the Georgians?
Ci sta quello che mi dici, però. Assolutamente.
Speak too much. Number 6, say the last scrum after flash. Possible.
Okay.
Just asking questions, aren't they, at the moment, around that scrum, whether it's being competed and won fairly. That's the questions that Bobok is asking from a Romanian side.
Hey, where we can go? Here. Where you want.
Georgia will be very disappointed not to have scored the try there at the end of this first half. It seemed odds on, didn't it, that they were running in from 80 meters.
Time still off. Yeah, wait, you got 30 seconds to play.
Could be a bit of trouble here for Ottari Metravelli.
I understand your question, but wait, you got 30 seconds.
One of a rich vein of Black Lion talent that is dominant in the backs. Kakoidze, Tabladze, Tabutsadze and Metravelli, all playing for the national domestic franchise. And, well, it's because of a hit that comes in after the event from Tony Mafday, and I think he's lucky to get away with that because the ball was long gone, wasn't it, before he looked to tenderise the kidneys of his opposite man.
Yeah, you got to say it was a tad late.
Just a little bit.
Yeah, you feel for Metravelli in that situation.
Bind! Set! Both down, both down.
It is Romania's put in, but
break foot out. Yeah,
it has been one-way traffic in terms of the referee's arm when it's come to the awarding of penalties.
Time off now, time over now.
So if they can survive this without Georgia being awarded one from Alberto Favaro, And they just need to get it off the field of play. Our clock in the red.
Mind! Set!
What's the shove early from Romania? The front row of Romania sent airborne, but hurriedly, hastily sent from the field of play by Alin Konace, who's been responsible for all 9 points of Romania in this first half. A first half which they fought, they've led twice, and they head to the halftime huddles within touching distance of the much fancied Georgia. Halftime here in Tbilisi, Georgia 15, Romania 9. We've got a match on our hands here in Tbilisi in this Rugby Europe Championship semi-final. A stunner in Tbilisi for these semi-finals, and I can tell you it's going to be just like that next Sunday in Madrid for the finals weekend. The 7th place final, 5th place final, bronze and grand final, all on the same day in Madrid. The first two taking place at the Estadio Nacional Complutense Central, and then the bronze and the grand final at the Estadio Butarque in Legans, where there's not just rugby, but there is going to be a fan zone, food, drink, DJs, and all the live games from 1 o'clock at Leganés. Ultimate Sunday for any Rugby Europe fan. Tickets from £10. And when we cut to the break, €10, I beg your pardon. And when we cut to the break, there'll be a QR code on your screen. That's the best way to get in on the action. So make sure you scan it. Come and join us in Madrid next weekend for finals day.
Rugby Europe Championship final will be played in Madrid, Spain on March 15th. Hurry to get your tickets.
Welcome back, everybody, to a stunning day in Tbilisi for the Rugby Europe Championship. First semi-final of this Sunday that is going to shape finals day in Madrid next week. The rugby has been very good, but we've been taken on a real musical journey by the DJ here at the Avchala Rugby Stadium. A bit of Jerry Rafferty at half-time, and everyone in high spirits for a match that is proving to be a lot more of a contest than many would have made it prior to the match. It's a 6-point game, 2 tries to Georgia, but the boot of Alan Konache has been unerring. And at 15-9, Sam Katz, we aren't just preparing ourselves with excitement for the next 40 minutes, but there's real hope here for the Romanians of what they might be able to do in this second stanza and create what would be a seismic upset.
Yeah, and to do so, Joe, they've got to keep hold of the ball. That's going to be absolutely key. They're now playing into the wind. Second half plays such a role in modern rugby, as we know, especially with that 50-22 possibility that you mentioned in the first half. Look, the Avchala Stadium, it's one of the most intimidating places to play, but to be fair to the Romanians, they really fronted up first half and put in a good show for everyone. David Girard will just be saying a bit more of the same, lads. Get out there and give it your all. Nothing to lose really at this stage. Semi-final with a possible place in the final at stake in Madrid, and it's going to be a hell of a second half. It's really well poised. Romania, they need to look to the skies, I think, a little bit in their kicking game. Kick to compete. The sun's in the eyes of the Georgians here, so it's going to be up to Konache. He had a good first half, did the Romanian number 9. Got to guide his team well around the park, play when necessary, but get that ball up in the sky to compete onto those Georgian wingers.
15-9 here at the Avchala Stadium as Tedo Bjanidze kicks us off into the second half. A Madrid final at stake for both these teams. And touch found. And, well, it's not the biggest of clearances, but it is safety nevertheless for the Romanians. Georgia ain't hanging around. Nice quick line-out drill. And introducing some big runners in the midfield. Marco Bortolami has got this set-piece pairing. Tabutsadze bouncing around on that right edge, such is the try-scorer's way. And there's a fluidity, there is a purpose with which the Georgians are carrying. Arkaladze doing the damage this time. And now the rest of the pack arrive. Here comes the captain, Beka Sagidnadze. Romanians, they made so many tackles, bruising ones, tackles that have jolted Georgians back, but the ferocity is beginning to wane as wave after wave of monstrous men from Tbilisi come hurtling at them. Now the turn of Georgi Melekidze. Tramples through one, almost makes it through another. Now the turn of the backs. Tabutsadze one-on-one, can't make it to the line because it's a brilliant brave hit and somehow stays in field, and that's what's unsettled the Romanian defence and allowed the captain, Beka Sagidnadze, to finish off a sweeping move. Forwards, backs, everyone playing their part, but a captain's carry to round off the move.
Yeah, and it's exactly what we were expecting from this Georgian side. Out they come for the second half. Guns loaded, and they were absolutely on fire there in that phase of play. The speed of ball was phenomenal, and interplay between backs and forwards as well. Ball carrying was absolutely outstanding, and the Romanian defence just had no answer. I just wonder if they're going to... I don't think they are, but I thought they might check that. Tabutsadze didn't step out of the field in the corner there. with that recovery tackle from TK, but it seems the try's been given, so he must have stayed in.
It did look close, didn't it? And there, an indication of the wind is that an extra body is required to hold the ball in place on the tee, and the effort is no good. 3 tries to Georgia, 11 points the difference. And Bobok
just came off
receiving another admonishing from the referee. He's they've got to spend a lot of time together in conference, those two, haven't they?
Yeah, they have. I think that try just came from the poor execution of that exit clearance from Romania's scrum half, Kanake. We would have liked to get a bit more distance on the kick, but as we've seen, this north to south wind is really playing its part here. Romania's just being asked to speed things up, I think. Not quite sure what's going on, why they're not.
We do apologise, we seem to have lost the ref mic momentarily. Maybe, has it been TMO'd and they found Kapadzadze to be in touch? I mean, surely he's out there. I think that offload is good. Well, it's after the fact anyway, because the try's been awarded, the game's moved on, and a bit of confusion really surrounding everything there, including the restart, and we're going to have a midfield scrum. We'll just settle at that. And Stefan Iancu, who was a towering man wearing 15, is onto the field. He's well experienced. He had a stint playing in England in National 1 and Championship for China, and comes on for his second appearance of this year's competition. Just 20 minutes to his name against Belgium, but a bigger chunk of the semi-final to make a difference here today. Complete chaos at the scrum. Difficult to know who was pushing which way and what, and I think Logan Wiedner, the second row, has been sent to the sin bin, and I can't remember the last time, if ever, I've seen a scrum collapse and the yellow card be awarded to a second row rather than a front row.
I've certainly never seen that either, Joe. And yeah, now the Georgians are really piling on the pressure, aren't they? Field position, they realise they've got the tails up. 20 points to 9 to the good. 11 points isn't enough for them to be home and safe, so they'll be looking to add to that as quickly as possible.
Well, there's some clarity there. It was Alexandru Savin, the vastly experienced Rapid Bucharest loosehead, who's going to watch on for the next 10 minutes. You'll note I deferred to your knowledge as a fly half there, Sam, when trying to pick through the bones of that scrum yellow card. But from that line out, it's a penalty, so we can focus on your specialty area, which is the line out now.
No, look, we know at scrum time, even if I am a renowned fly half, Joe, that it was clearly the Georgians who were piling on the pressure, weren't they? Penalty after penalty after penalty, and Savins had to take the hit there for his team. But yeah, it's just pure dominance from the Georgian pack at the moment. I wouldn't be surprised to see them go to the maul either.
Claimed cleanly by Babunashvili. And now the grit and the grind of the driven maul, but it's Kakadze who loses his feet and is set upon by the Romanians. Wise to the disintegration. Akaladze takes Georgia to within 3 meters. Then the turn of the tight head, Milakidze. He gets short shrift from the Romanian pack. everyone putting their shoulder to the wheel, forwards and backs. Tiny Mana involved on that occasion, but with a big run up and a hop and a skip and a burst forward, Tronike Jalagoniga, the hulking number 8 of Georgia, won't be denied underneath the uprights. Try number 4, and Georgia beginning to take a stranglehold of this semi-final.
Yeah, Jalagonia, look at the power on this carry. Even allows himself a little step there round the outside, but there's no stopping the man mountain, I should say.
Well, he started every game at the World Cup in France, split his time between the 6 and the 8 jersey. He started every rec game this campaign, and believe it or not, he squeezed in 76 minutes for Provence against Argent last week in Pro de Dirt 2, so he's in fine form, very fit, and very destructive from that range. And Romania need a response. They need a big one now. Iancu, the replacement second row, does his best to get some go forward. And that's a nice little show and dart from Daniel Ply. We haven't seen that element to his game too much. Konache almost throws an intercept a la Dupont yesterday against Scotland, but instead of being picked off, it is knocked on, and Romania will have the scrum. And, well, precisely what they didn't want to see, a full front row replacement trio. Nicolozzi, Sudidze, Luka Gorginava, and Bachuki Chumbadze all bounding on, and I think Georgi Javakia as well. So 4 men, La Rochelle, Mont-de-Marsan, Exeter Chiefs in England, and Toulon all represented. High caliber scrummaging power emptied from the bench.
It's not what you want to see, is it, if you're the Romanian pack? Scrumming down once again. Fresh legs on the Georgian side. You've got to say it was a good restart from Romania, gathered the ball back, put together a few phases, but just lacking the accuracy, lacking the depth, just getting ahead of themselves, getting too flat at the line there with Georgian defenders piling on the pressure.
Fresh faces, similar direction of travel, but no penalty.
Just up to those Romanian forwards to get low, get stable, and try and compete with the fresh bodies of the Georgian front row.
Big shoes
Not
for...
easy, of course, when you're a man down.
Big shoes for Chumbadze to fill. He's been going well from the bench this rec. Tries against Spain and the Netherlands. But Georgi Melikilidze, who he's replaced, he's having a remarkable try-scoring season. For a tight head prop, he scored 8 tries in 17 appearances for Stade Francais this season, which... I challenge any tight head across any league of any season ever to match, really. What's the most you scored in a season, Sam?
My scoring points tallies were more based around kicking, Joe, than scoring tries, but I'd say a couple.
Well, Georgia, as a collective, have 4, but they have also sent that out on the full. So just something of a lull in the game after those few resets, and a bit of the energy drained and some inaccuracy creeping in. And there's David Niniashvili, who is such a slender frame for a man so distinguished across the European circuit. And you think about how long we've been talking about David Niniashvili as a talent in his days playing for Lyon for 4 seasons, 4 name-making seasons. Now at La Rochelle, he's only 23 years old. There is so much more high-quality rugby to come from him, and you look across the profile of the Georgian team, no one in the starting 15 today is north of 30 years old. And there
saw what the Romanian... Sorry.
Yeah, no, go on.
You saw what the Romanian pack are trying to do here, just stick to their guns. Try and get some go forward off that maul. Just being... I think they thought it was pulled down. I think they rather tripped up.
Great following here in Georgia for rugby, and well, Tbilisi will be alive come the summer when they host the World Rugby Under-20 Championship, or the Junior World Championship as it's been renamed this year. And off goes a barreling Tangimana. There is a direct and powerful carry from Stefan Iancu. Bit high for Guy John, so he had to hop and didn't get to take a step forward before he was hit. Shows strength, but we're going to bring play to a halt because there's a few collars being grabbed and torn and tangled with. Much ado about nothing, and there's also a Romanian injury.
Yeah, Romania will be happy to see out these 10 minutes, a man down, and get back to a full 15. Difficult to play 14 against 15, especially with their attacking structure. You're just missing the odd attacker, the odd support player. Makes it more difficult to get to those clean-outs on time, especially against a Georgian defence that is rather relentless at the moment.
So a few instructions there. Marco Bortolami is at the helm at the moment after the departure of Richard Cockrell at the back end of last year. And Bortolami just holding the fort until the arrival of Pierre-Henri Branquin. And a significance in a Frenchman taking those reins, with Claude Sorel widely credited with having laid the foundations of modern Georgian rugby as we know it. He's the last Frenchman to be in charge of Georgian rugby, and well, a long time ago, his tenure predated the wreck as we know it. Back in the days when it was the Nations Cup First Division, it was known as, and it was a marquee moment when Georgia finished runners-up. And the champions, guess who? Well, Romania. So how the fortunes have fared differently over the last 2.5 decades, where Romania used to be the dominant force, but it is now unequivocally Georgia. And just a little one for you, Sam. That back then, when Georgia first came runners-up, who do you think came third that year, back in 2000?
Would it have been Spain?
It was not. It was Morocco.
Unbelievable knowledge. That is, Joe.
Yeah. Tell you what, Casablanca away. That's not a bad one.
Hell of a trip indeed.
Petition to get Morocco back up to the rec for sunny away days. As you can tell, found myself down a Rugby Europe Championship rabbit warren earlier in the week. But here we are, Romania. The prospect of a final in Madrid, a grand final, is not lost because they're 5 meters from the Georgian line, tucked in the corner, and they're rocking and rolling, and they're mauling around this corner, splintering the Georgian resistance. There's the first try in Romanian colours here in Tbilisi. It was so precise, so swift, so destructive, and the Georgian pack just didn't have an answer. It's the captain, Kristin Bobot.
And that's what they've been so good at over the years, isn't it? This Romanian side. And David Gerard just continuing that on. Look at that rolling maul. Once they get going, there's no stopping them, despite the weight of this Georgian pack. That was really well worked around the side. Exactly what a rolling maul is supposed to look like. Brilliant from the Romanian pack. They'll be pleased with that. And they're back in this game. Can Kanake add another 2 points?
So Becca Saganadze, the captain, has departed the field, and Aline Konache just doesn't look like missing today. Full 7-pointer, and 11 is the difference. Game on with 25 minutes to go. I can't believe this half is only 15 minutes old. It is feels like it's been going for far longer, but that'll suit Romania because they need time, they need opportunity if they are to chase Georgia down on the scoreboard.
Yeah, just a little bit of angst and indiscipline, I'd say, creeping into the Georgia game, realising that the gap's being closed by this Romanian side, who are now back to 15 on the field, which they'll be delighted about, and some reinforcements as well.
Well, things seem to be happening for Romania now, and Georgia, who had the bit between their teeth, have just loosened their grip on the game. And, well, there is someone of note on the field of play at the moment. 21, Mihaili Shirashvili, the 19-year-old Georgia under-20s captain. It is a full senior national debut for this beast of a number 8. 7 tries in the World Rugby Championships last summer in Northern Italy. He is a name to remember, and he's onto the field here in a tense semi-final clash against historic rivals Romania. Chavakia, the other replacement, is in on that tackle. Then it's the turn of Tabladze to lend his left shoulder. Clearance coming from Yandre Williams, his debut for Romania. The 28-year-old Niniashvili looks to pick his way through a forest of oaks and eventually gets clobbered. Numbers here for Georgia. And it's a brilliant tackle, low round the ankles. Denies Kakoidze the opportunity to shift through the gears. And Romania snuff out another Georgian break, and they have a line out in their host half.
Yeah, they did, and Georgia just squandering the opportunity there. There was a man down for Romania in midfield, and it looked like numbers on for the Georgians. It's a great recovery tackle, wasn't it, from Daniel Plai, Romania's number 10. Just seeing a little bit of an inaccuracy at ruck time from the Georgians. Seen 3 or 4 knock-ons and fumbles in that area. And we also saw before a brilliant Romania scrum platform that allowed them to exit their own territory. So that was the first in the game where Romania just looking comfortable at scrum time, possibly due to those changes. But they'll want to see a bit more of that in the last 22 minutes here. And they will feel at this stage that the game is in the balance for them. If they can get some good ball off this line out and set up one of their set plays that I'm sure they've been working on week in, week out.
Oh, an errant throw. And an opportunity for Georgia that they didn't expect in attack. A lot of fresh faces on the field now. Sudidze is one of them, the replacement hooker, and we've also had the implementation of Thomas Cretu, the French-Romanian tight head who plays his rugby for Dax. But one of the mainstays, Jalagonia, just tucks the ball under his arm and says, let me do it. Good carry from the number 8, and Georgia in command of the ball on the Romanian 10. Booming carry from Goginava. Another good carry from Sudidze. Oh, just the hint of an intercept opportunity for a moment, but instead Kapladze finds himself dancing and in the 5-meter channel. Great defense, tireless once again from Romania. They've stood up all day and they've got 20 more minutes to do so. Niniashvili, slipperiest of customers, gets netted by Iancu and knocked on in the contact, and it's another massive defensive shift from the Romanians.
It really is, and they can be really proud of their display today. We did not expect this coming to Tbilisi today. The Georgians, especially at ruck time, they're just not controlling possession here. Just disconnects, getting caught isolated, and that's allowing some big shots coming in from those Romanian defenders. And just losing control when it matters the most in the contact area.
I think whatever happens here today, Sam, in terms of the result, the outcome on the scoreboard, this is a big step forward for Romania. They have, by their own admission, they are struggling. They are struggling for identity and cohesion and pulling together their talents. They only get these players for a week, really, in the build-up to matches, and then often a new raft comes in for the next round, and they're coming up with increasingly inventive ways of finding high-caliber players who want to pull on the jersey. They've got a Romanian roots program where, in a bid to identify talented players with Romanian heritage, you can fill a form out on the Romanian Federation website, and it's for friends and families to fill out to say if they know someone, and then they'll reach out and get in contact. So if you're watching on and you've got some Romanian heritage, that could be the form for you. As the Oaks begin to threaten in the Georgian backfield once again, cute ball dribbled through, and the unmistakable haircut of Tavita Manamua tells you that there's a bit of experience on in the midfield, and it's a loose bouncing ball that's scooped up, dropped on the toe by the debutant Bonaparte. It's chaos there, and the whistle blows. And what's the decision?
Yeah, you're just asking, why did TK put boot to ball there? Just back yourself. Oh, it's close, isn't it? He's called it back from the knock for the knock on. Georgian prop there, just taking his eyes off the ball, which you can't do in this area of the field. But the Romania scrum, I must say, it's come up trumps in the last 10 minutes or so. Really looking solid and stable. I hope I don't eat my words now.
Oh, well, we don't even get
shame.
to see them engage, and that's hugely frustrating for Romania.
Yeah, it is. It's just in those areas. You don't see that kind of thing usually. Just a lapse in concentration, give away the free kick. And look at that, just using that wind to guide the ball downfield. It's an unbelievable clearance.
It will be a Romanian throw-in though, was just a free kick.
Having to find their way out of their half once again.
Williams cries out in frustration at the connection made. It was a kick that was too flat, too infield, and Niniashvili is gliding, glitzing through the Romanian defence, and the inside ball is then chipped on once more to Luka Matkova, and that might just be the ball game. One moment of Niniashvili brilliance, and Luka Matkova on hand to put the semi-final to bed.
Yeah, you can't give him that much time and space in the backfield. It was a poor clearance from Romania, and here's Niniashvili past 1 and 2 defenders. And it's Lobzan Nidze who just sets up his usual fly-off counterpart, Matt Kava, who's come off the bench today, and it's an easy finish, but he was disappointed with that clearance kick. It was Williams, the replacement number 9 for Romania, and the Georgian backline just absolutely punished that lapse in concentration and accuracy off the clearance. They've been so good in the second half up to this point, but give the Georgians a sniff and away they go.
Well, that is just that, isn't it, Sam? It's the class that they possess in some key positions, and so often Test match rugby is decided by moments of brilliance. We saw it yesterday with Tommaso Menoncello and his performance, his bust at the end to create the match-winning try for Italy against England. And whilst slightly less physical but equally classy, David Niniashvili with a magic moment to create the go-ahead, well, the lead extending try from Georgia. And there's been some over-exuberance in challenging for this kickoff, and a couple of stricken players, and maybe pending consultation with the assistant, a yellow card as well to come for TK. Yeah, not great when you don't take off.
Yeah, it doesn't look great, does it? TK does have eyes on the ball, you got to say, but it's up to him. He's got the responsibility to make sure the guy that is jumping is protected in that area, and of course he hasn't done that. The ref will take a look. I'll be very surprised if this isn't a yellow card.
It's shades of Henry Arundel, isn't it? Against Scotland in the Calcutta Cup.
He's only half a metre or 75 centimetres away from Niniashvili when he does jump, so difficult to get out of the way, you got to say, but he does have a responsibility there as the chaser.
It is a tough one, though, isn't it, Sam? Because he is directly in the drop zone of where that ball is going to land. So were Niniashvili to not leap into that space, he would have claimed it. I mean, he's worn a hip.
Yeah, and I think the other thing is that I wonder if the ref's going to take into account the sun in the eyes here. The problem is, I don't think TK even knows where the ball is.
He hasn't got his arms up, has he? And then I think he sees it all too late, doesn't he?
Just want to see the ref just make a quick decision here and get back into the game. Yeah, look, it's not gone over the horizontal, fortunately. He is touched in the air. Just looks fairly unintentional. I'd be surprised not to see the yellow card just because of the nature of the infraction.
A yellow card, the decision, and a few surprises in the stadium. And Romania reduced to 14 again with as many minutes left to play. And 16 points, the deficit. The task is looking not just tall, but on the cusp of insurmountable now for Romania. Georgia look like they're heading to yet another final.
Yeah, at this stage in the game, Joe, going down to 14 again, it's very difficult for a tiring Romania side. However, the last time they were down to 14, they did score their one and only try of this game, so there's some spirit and fight in that team, that's for sure. And that would really please David Gerard. He said it was all about attitude today and not about rugby. And they really have shown themselves to have some character.
Yeah, and this is progress. They've been dumped out at the semi-final stage in this very stadium, the last two recs, by identical scorelines of 43 points to 5. They haven't tasted victory against Georgia since 2017. 8-7 they won at the Arc de Triomphe. And this, aforementioned, a precursor to pool play at the Rugby World Cup in Australia. So there's going to be a lot more tussles with a lot more significance to come. Of course, there's going to be next year's rec as well. But there is purpose. There is, there's incentive here, and there's developing narratives with the greater riches and bigger tournaments in mind as well for everyone. David Gerard's got a big job in his hands, but he'll be pleased with what he sees today.
Absolutely, I think the second half has been a real positive. First half, they stayed in the game well. Didn't play the rugby maybe that they wanted to, but the second half they've upped the intensity defensively. Yes, they've let in 2 tries, but
Georgia flashing down the left-hand side, no look wraparound pass from Niniashvili. Doesn't find mat cover on this occasion, and well, looks like it may have been knocked on by a Romanian hand. And
clever, wasn't it, from Matt Carver?
Yeah, not sure how much Mafte knew about it. I guess, Sam, we've probably focused quite a lot on Romania and the performance that they put in and the rebuild. For Georgia, this is also feeling quite transitional as well. They're unhappy with their development since the French World Cup, as as demonstrated by parting ways with Richard Cockrell, they've got a caretaker coach in Marco Bortolami, who most recently was the head coach of Sale Sharks and involvement at Benetton. They themselves would have been expecting or demanding of themselves maybe a more commanding performance in this match, would you say?
Yeah, and that's exactly the sense that I get as well in this kind of incident here, is that the Georgians shouldn't be worried about getting into the scuffle. And it just seems that the frustrations of not being that much further ahead in a game like today with a Romania side that's underperforming at this year's championship, it's just getting to them a little bit and getting under the skin. And the Romanians, that suits them in this game, slow things down. For the Georgians, they need to be focusing on next phase. There's a lot of errors creeping in, and maybe there's an overarching factor of all those changes coming in from above. Does make total sense to me that they would opt for a Frenchman to be in charge moving forward with so many of their players playing their club rugby in France, just to manage that transition between their international side and those French clubs. It's a high percentage, but we've seen another couple of cards. Bit of handbags, wasn't it, Joe?
So the era of haymakers being thrown is done and dusted, isn't it? With the number of cameras on sides now, it's all very much saber rattling, isn't it? But we've got a few less players on the field, so some more space for some expansive rugby. And he will watch on for the rest of the match from the sideline. Ioanni Iashagashvili I thought was going to be the man charged with launching that ball in, but instead it is the loosehead Luka Goginava. He slots himself in for an armchair ride behind his pack. Micheli Alania delivers it into the path of Kakoidze. Again, the Romanian defence is fierce, it's all-encompassing, and Manu Mua really needed to do more in that effort, and Georgia have released the beast. Mihaly Shiuishvili, the 19-year-old on debut, the name for the future, the Man Mountain, under-20s captain, does what he does best, steamrolling opposition players for a try that he'll never forget in Tbilisi.
Yeah, it's a brilliantly worked try, speed of ball. He's got the weight behind him, not just his own weight, but it's Chumbadze as well, the big prop, helping him over the line, giving him that extra boost for his first international try on debut. He'll be delighted with that, young Shiashvili.
This guy, Shiashvili, is a force of nature. Made his top 14 debut last week for Toulon against Lyon, having featured in the Espoir final against Bordeaux last year. And among those 7 tries he scored at the World Rugby Championships last year in Northern Italy were 2 against Scotland, 1 against New Zealand, and I'm sorry to say, Sam, there was a hat-trick against Spain as well in there. So they were tries against some big scalp nations.
Something seems to be being checked here, Joe. Perhaps video referee being involved. Be a shame for Shiashvili if his first international try is chalked off.
A lot of TMO intervention in this second half, and some agonised deliberations, and the trial stands. So Shiashvili gets his name in the history books. Try and debut against arch-rec rivals Romania. And they're on their way to Madrid to a grand final. Romania, so too will they be in Madrid as well. All 8 rec nations dueling in the capital city of Spain next Sunday. Tickets from €10 and loads going on apart from the rugby. Food, drink, DJs and champions to be crowned. Some really big games in there as well. The likes of Switzerland who are going to be vying for a 5th place finish, which is remarkable for the newly promoted side from the trophy. Oh, it's a beautiful collect, and it's a try-on debut for Damien Bonaparte. Crafted out of nothing. Telepathic. The chip went through, Bonaparte set off, the scoop and finish. And Romania have a second try.
Grazie.
Yeah, it's brilliant all-round play, isn't it? Apply the number 10 with a little chip through, and it's Bonaparte. He's still got the legs to get away.
Inside and the ball boy.
Beautiful play from Romania. Wide passes off 10 to those forwards. All-round rugby's been superb this second half. I've said it a couple of times. There's a bit more space, isn't there, with 14 versus 13 at the moment, but didn't they make the most of it?
Option. Line out. Line out. Cosa?
Matthew Tweddle rules the Tbilisi skies, and the rolling maul continues to deliver meters as the Romanians outmuscle the Georgians. 39-23. It's been a fine game of rugby. Romania have been great value.
Not on the ball, away
throughout.
No.
16 points adrift. It's not going to happen for them in this semi-final, but it is going to create a core memory for some inexperienced players to carry on into Madrid, into next year's rec, into the World Cup in Australia. And space, an opportunity, fashioning itself out wide. An untimely loss of footing stymies the potential break, and then they go cross field. Breaking down the right, Georgia in behind the Romanians. Oh, and it's knocked forward intentionally in the tackle. It'll be a yellow card, and it might just be a penalty try as well. So, yellow cards flying left, right and centre. Romania down to 12 as Tudor Budnariu, the lights the home crowd, his intentional knockdown with the Georgians bearing down on the line, 2-on-1. Here's the incident. Not even disguised.
1 minute.
And it's not Budnari, I think it's Tony Mafte, the fullback, and Sam amongst all the chaos and kickoffs now being dropped and fly hacked forward. We need to get thinking about a player of the match.
Stop, stop. Wait.
Well, mayhem now out there in the middle, but a good stoppage now. Sam, let's talk about some of the players who've impressed you.
I just
Yeah,
want
there's
to
been
try
a
to
few
let you
good
play.
performances on both sides. I did think
Knock on.
Romania fullback Mafte had a good first half, as did Alin Konake, the number 9.
Number 8,
PK as well until his sending off. So a couple of yellow cards, and Romania have let themselves down just a little bit with the discipline.
Also
They've
number
not
4
been
for the
particularly
scrum.
indisciplined in general play, just a couple of times, and that's resulted in a few yellow cards, unfortunately.
Abbiamo, Vincenzo?
But on the Georgian side, Niniashvili has been his usual self when finding himself in space, hasn't he? Impossible to stop. Tavisazze, of course, finding himself on the score sheet as he usually does. But I think it's been a domineering performance today from Tornike Jalagonia, Georgian number 8. He's carrying first half, and at the beginning of the second, when he got himself on the score sheet with a lovely carried try, he's been fairly unstoppable. The Provence number 8, and it's the reason I probably choose him for a player of the match. Tornike Jalagonia, he's been the outstanding man. Yeah. I've enjoyed seeing your young number 8 replacement Shiashvili, his little cameo as well. Don't get me wrong, Joe, he's one for the future.
Time is on.
There's very few countries that make 19-year-olds as large as Mihaly Shiashvili. High ceiling for the bruising replacement 8. It's another 21 though. In Yandre Williams. He has his hands on the ball.
Don't change your head.
Don't give me the space.
Give him space. Don't change with your head. Guys, on the left of the mark. I stay in this side.
And front rows, no matter the time on the clock, no matter how long left in the game, they always find a way to disagree with one another, don't they, when it comes to scrum time. And Ilyesa Tike is reinstated to the game. 2 yellow cards across the rec for him, one against Portugal as well. So discipline, certainly an issue for him so far this campaign. But Romania with one last roll of the attacking dice, but they get picked off in the midfield, and maroon jerseys pour through towards Romania's line in the hunts for a half-century of points. It'll be undeserving for the Romanians after the performance they put in, but ruthless Georgia won't relent, and they do head to Madrid. They do head to the grand final with a 50-plus performance against their arch-rec rivals.
I'm asking.
Yeah, you're right, Joe. I don't think it's deserved for the Romanians how well they fought in this match, but it's just pure class, isn't it, from the Georgians, keeping that ball alive.
After the kick,
hard
you got 20
running
seconds.
lines. It's Kakoidze there with that beautiful line through the middle.
Devi dirmi tu, Vincenzo, quanto manca, perché il timekeeper non c'è.
The game has lost all shape, really, in this last 10 minutes or so.
20 seconds!
And the threats of Tornike Kakoidze and Niniashvili and co. I mean, these are the conditions with which they thrive in. Final moments of what has been a gripping semi-final, and it's one that many came in thinking that this was going to be a one-horse race, but Romania played their part, and well, there's more to come as well. Sam, you're going to be glued to Rugby Europe TV for the Iberian Derby, which is not long behind the final whistle of this. Spain against Portugal, a huge moment for Peninsular bragging rights and an opportunity to face off against the incumbent champions Georgia in Madrid. That's over in Lisbon, but Spain will be backing themselves. They'll fancy themselves to win on the road, as Romania keep launching big bodies at small holes at determined Georgian defenders. One last burrow forward and into the 22. Can Romania finish on a high? Little lateral from
No,
Altinov.
you're not on the ball.
Williams orchestrating. Forwards and backs around him. Looking for the best avenue forward. There's the power play from the pack. And then a pick and go from Tweddle. There's a man in medical trouble here. And Lane prone on his back. Absolutely the right call to halt play. We will get to restart with the scrum, and it'll be the last gasp of this semi-final.
Yeah. Got to stop play for a head injury, but unfortunate for the Romanians. They were really stringing together the phases there. Some wind in their sails finally. It's too little too late today.
It was last play, but they got the ball, and we restart with the scrum. Yeah, we restart with the scrum for them, and then.
They'll still have one game to prove their worth, these Romanians, against either Portugal and Spain in Madrid. It'll be Georgia going to the final. Deservedly so, you've got to say.
And it's scrum
Wasn't
last
there
play.
Most excellent of performances today. I think there's a lot of work on still on the Georgian side. Particularly there's accuracy and concentration around the breakdown.
Yeah,
far too many balls lost
I wait, you're okay, Vincenzo.
in the tackle area. But they're edging closer, aren't they, to another Rugby Europe Championship victory.
He's checking, but he got 3 screen. It's a bit of a mess because he has to check on 3 screen. Just sorry for the time off, but yeah. What's wrong? Where is Saba? Where is the yellow card? Ah, okay. They must play. They must play 15 to 15. Why not? So 15 against 14. Okay.
Well, there have been a lot of yellow cards, so I don't think we can blame the officials for losing count and struggling with who should be where and which team has how many. But I think that we're all present and correct now. 15 on 14. One remaining won't see it to the final whistle. But this is as good a attacking platform as any side could wish for. Big juicy blindside down this left, and Bonaparte try score already.
Advantage.
Directly behind the scrum. Romania break open, and what a run, what a dart, what strength from Yantre Williams, who almost goes it alone from the 22.
Ball was clearly ripped. We go back, angle.
Oh, well, there was a penalty for an illegal scrummaging angle. What a burst from Williams.
Tight head, angle.
Oh, it was brilliant from Williams, wasn't it? Took on his men, dummy and go. Almost went in himself there for what would have been the try of the day, probably. And Romania opt for the corner, and they'll go to this maul.
6.
And they'll hope to close the gap in the last play, obviously knowing that victory has escaped them today.
You are the receiver? Okay. Maul.
Well, not many score 3 tries against Georgia.
Away 4 now, away.
In the Rugby Europe Championship. Not many score more than 20 points, truth be told. But Romania have the bit between their teeth. They are just a metre away, and more support arrives. And Romania and the Oaks finish with a deserved flourish. They have toiled all day valiantly. They've been in the contest from start to finish, and they may not be off to the grand final, but they head to the bronze medal match full of confidence, having gone toe-to-toe with the reigning champions.
Yeah, it's really what David Gerard was asking for from his men today. Chest out, shoulders back, and it's moments like that. 2 tries from Mols. This Romanian side has really stepped up today.
You've got 30 seconds.
28 or even 30 points now.
From now.
On the board in Tbilisi. It's almost unheard of these days.
Well, Georgia are off to another final, and all the dignitaries and the fervent fans look on and applaud in appreciation at their imperious Lilos, looking to rule the continent once more in terms of the Rugby Europe cosmos. But Romania leave Tbilisi with their heads held high, but it is Georgia who are triumphant. 53 points to 30. They will compete for the Rugby Europe Championship crown once more in Madrid. We'll meet them, Spain or Portugal. The Iberian derby to come to complete our grand final lineup. Well, Sam, thoroughly enjoyable couple of hours there of Rugby Europe Championship action, and
okay,
they've got there in the end, but this man will be delighted, David Gerard.
It's quite not usual, but after a defeat like this, I'm very proud of the boys. There is a massive difference on the paper between them and us. Most of their players are in top 14 and Pro D2. We are not playing at the same level, but the boys did a real game. I spoke about body language before the game. That's why I'm very happy about them. I'm very proud about them.
Okay. What's the next steps for your team ahead of the Madrid?
Going back to Romania, because travel going to be long, and just recover. The recovery going to be a big issue for us. And I don't know who we go to face in Spain, but I hope we play at the minimum like today.
Thanks for your time, coach, and good luck.
Pride in defeat from David Gerard, and his Oaks delivering everything that he asked for in terms of their demonstration of character, and the young debutant Shiashvili receiving embrace from a seasoned player, but still a young man in David Niniashvili, just 4 years his senior, and the spectre of the Antim Cup as well, looming large there.
Happy.
Here
happy
is Marco Bortolami.
I think it was a big score at the end, but great to Romania. They fought hard and they fought till the end. It wasn't perfect, so I think we got a lot of areas to improve, but that's good because going to the final, obviously we got to be more consistent in a lot of things.
Next week are the finals in Madrid. What will be the program for the coming days?
First of all, recovery tomorrow, and then obviously on Tuesday we preview the opposition. Depending on Spain, Portugal, they play very similar. They like to play the ball a lot more with the backs, so we got to be ready probably for a different type of game. But we will be in a good place.
Thanks, coach. Congratulations.
So content with reaching the final, and the Antim Cup is to be awarded to Beka Saginadze. Not the only trophy they want, but still a memorable moment, and it is a trophy they've had in their hands since 2017, and a chance to celebrate in front of their loyal fans at the Avchala Rugby Stadium. And there he is, Mikhaili Shiashvili, 19 years old, a try-on debut, the under-20s captain, handed the Antim Trophy, a bit of history that exists between Georgia and Romania, and hoisting silverware on his first senior outing. they may be looking around for Tourniquet Jalagonia, their talismanic number 8. I know it is Luka Markava, one of the old stagers.
Who was missing today?
I
He's
think
the
we were
captain of
lacking some details. We have to manage our strong points, our exit a little bit better, because every time when we didn't exit properly, we had pressure on our field, and that's what makes us get points.
What will be important to work on for the final game next week?
I think it's important to keep the same group and build confidence, and we can have a good potential to make a good result.
Thanks a lot. Good luck.
So that wasn't Christy Bobok, as you might have guessed. He would have been covered in a lot more sweat after the performance he put in. 2 tries for the captain in defeat, and now part of the tunnel, generously applauding the hosts. No love lost on the field, but a lot of respect off it between Georgia and Romania, whose Rugby Europe fates have been intertwined over many a decade.
A great game today. What were the key elements in your win?
ქართულად თქვა თუ როგორ თქვა? ვერ გავიგე კითხვა.
ძალიან მაგარი თამაში გქონდა და რა იყო მთავარი ელემენტები, რამაც მოგაგებინეთ?
Just we respect our strategy. We play with the forwards, carry hard, and after the backs we get big spaces for attack the free spaces, and we finish well. Sometimes we don't finish, but it's normal. We did some fault, but it's okay. For the final, we will ready.
Okay, next week you have finals in Madrid. Have you some messages for your supporters? Maybe any grand
No, just we already played in Madrid. We know the many Georgians live in Madrid, and we are so happy because they are always with us, and I hope they will be with us for the final.
Thanks.
A call to arms for the many Georgians based in Madrid to come out and support their Lilos as they quest for a 9th successive crown in the Rugby Europe Championship. Victorious today over Romania in the semi-finals, and the player of the match gong awarded to number 8, Tourniquet Jalagonia, as chosen by our co-commentator Sam Katz, and looks to be a reluctant interviewee.
Okay, congratulations, you are man of the match. How was the game today? Are you satisfied with the result? ანუ გილოცავ შენ ხარ?
პირველში მოხარულები ვარ გამარჯვებისთვის, ველოდებოდით რომ რთული თამაში იქნებოდა, ფიზიკური თამაში იქნებოდა და ესეც მოხდა რა, ძიმე გუნდი არის რუმინეთი და რთულად დაიწყო თამაში, მაგრამ ჩვენი თამაში როცა ვიპოვეთ და ავაწყეთ ფაზები, მე ყველაფერი კარგად წავიდა.
First of all, we are so happy that we won the game and we are in the Madrid. We will go to the Madrid.
Well said, and hastily off to celebrate with his teammates the clinching of the Antim Cup. Few highlights to feast our eyes upon. Sam Katz, your final reflections on this performance, this match-winning performance from Georgia against Romania.
Yeah, I mentioned it wasn't their finest hour, this Georgian side. Still a lot of things to work on, especially controlling that ball in the contact area. A few slip-ups today, but generally they were just better across the park, weren't they, in the Romanian side, and well-deserved their victory. Romanians will be pleased with the efforts they put in, but it's another loss in this Rugby Europe Championship for them, so they'll hope for a similar performance, as David Gerard mentioned, against either Spain or Portugal next week, and they'll be hoping for 3rd place in the tournament if they can win that game in Madrid.
Well, you've teed things up nicely for our final remark here, Sam, because all roads do lead to Madrid and that finals day next Sunday. Tickets are available at from €10 a piece, and it's not just 4 games of rugby you're going to get to enjoy with all the placement finals, the bronze final, and the grand final, but it is going to be a true celebration of rugby across the continent. Food, drink, DJs, bonhomie aplenty as the 8 great nations of the Rugby Europe Championship come together for the final act of the 2026 edition. We'll be animating a QR code on the screen at the end of our broadcast. So stick around, make sure you scan it, and make sure you buy a ticket to come and join us in Madrid next week for the Rugby Europe end of season extravaganza. Georgia will be there vying for another championship crown. Who'll face them? Spain or Portugal. Stick around on the Rugby Europe channels to find out who that will be as the Iberian Derby, the final match of the weekend, and the second semi-final is coming next. But from all of us here in Tbilisi, it's goodbye for now.